The green tea latte had gone lukewarm an hour ago, but I kept both hands wrapped around the ceramic cup anyway. The cafe in West Hollywood buzzed, with industry energy agents pitching deals over avocado toast, influencers staging content for invisible audiences, everyone performing like their lives depended on being seen. I didn't fit here, hunched over my second-hand laptop in the corner booth, translating Korean business contracts for tech startups that paid just enough to cover my studio apartment in Koreatown. My lower back throbbed from the weight I carried now. 5 months of it pressing against my spine, no matter how I adjusted in the sleek metal chair, designed more for aesthetics than comfort. The burgundy maternity dress I'd bought from a consignment shop in mid-city clung to curves that weren't curves anymore, just the relentless swell of pregnancy. I'd stopped trying to hide behind loose cardigans. There was no hiding it anymore. The document on my screen blurred as I rubbed my eyes. Technical specifications for electronics imports, Korean to English, due by tonight. I was only halfway through. My phone sat face down beside my laptop, the screen dark. 9 missed calls from my landlord that I couldn't bring myself to answer because I was 3 weeks behind on rent, and every conversation would end with threats of eviction I couldn't prevent. Sarah. The voice cut through the cafe noise like broken glass. I knew it instantly. Would have recognized it in my sleep, in my nightmares, in the therapy sessions I could no longer afford. I looked up slowly, my natural curls falling forward as if they could shield me from what I'd see. Kingford Hayes stood 4 feet from my table, his sandy hair perfectly styled with that product he used to make me buy from Sephora, his gray eyes scanning me with an expression that started as surprise and curdled into something uglier. He wore a charcoal suit that probably cost more than 3 months of my rent. Italian fabric stretched across shoulders he'd spent hours cultivating at Equinox. The woman beside him was everything I wasn't anymore. Tall, blonde, model thin, wearing a cream silk blouse tucked into designer jeans that probably had a 4-figure price tag. Jesus Christ. Kingford's mouth curved into something that might have passed for concern on someone else's face. Sarah, what happened to you? My throat closed. I hadn't seen him since the day I'd signed the divorce papers 9 months ago. Hadn't wanted to see him. Had rerouted my entire existence to avoid this exact moment, switching cafes, changing my grocery store, taking different routes through the city like I was evading a stalker. Kingford. My voice came out steadier than I felt, which seemed like a small victory. I didn't know you came here. I don't usually. Meeting a client nearby. His gaze dropped to my stomach, lingered there with an expression I couldn't read, calculation mixed with disgust. Clearly this is your regular spot, though. When did this happen? The woman beside him shifted, her manicured hand sliding possessively around his arm. She looked me up and down with the kind of assessment women give each other in bathroom lines and parking garages. The silent calculation of threat level, competition status, social hierarchy. I apparently didn't register on any of those scales. I should get back to work. I reached for my laptop, but Kingford moved closer, his expensive leather shoes crossing into my personal space. His body angled to block my exit from the booth. Come on, don't be like that. He glanced at his girlfriend, then back at me, his voice taking on that false warmth he used to use before saying something cruel. I'm just surprised, that's all. You look different. Different. I repeated the word flatly, tasting the lie in it. Yeah, you know. He gestured vaguely at me, his hand encompassing my body like he was pointing out a stain on furniture. You've really let yourself go, Sarah. I mean, Jesus, you've gained what? 30? 40 pounds? He arranged his face into an expression of false concern that I'd seen 1,000 times during our marriage. I know the divorce was hard, but stress eating isn't the answer. You should really take care of yourself. Heat flooded my face, the particular burning shame that came from being humiliated in public, from knowing other people were watching, listening, judging. The cafe seemed to shrink around us. The conversations at nearby tables fading into white noise. I was suddenly acutely aware of every person who might be witnessing Kingford Hayes tell his fat black ex-wife that she'd let herself go. That she wasn't worth looking at anymore. I'm not stress eating. The words came out harder than I intended, with an edge that surprised us both. No. His eyebrows lifted in exaggerated surprise, that expression he'd perfected, the one that made me feel stupid for defending myself. Then what's your excuse? Because you used to be so careful about your figure. Remember? You wouldn't even eat carbs after 6. You used to actually work out. And now look at you. His girlfriend made a small sound, not quite a laugh, but close enough. The kind of feminine performance that said I'm not like you. I would never let this happen to me. Kingford, leave her alone, the girlfriend said, her tone suggesting she was being generous, charitable. Maybe she's just happy now. Happy? Kingford snorted, and the sound carried across the cafe. Is that what we're calling it? I tried to stand, but he didn't move. His body blocking the narrow space between the booth and the next table. My laptop bag was on the seat beside me. My phone just out of reach. The pregnancy made me slower, more awkward, and Kingford knew it. I could see the knowledge in his eyes, predatory and satisfied. The way he'd positioned himself deliberately, like a cat cornering prey. Excuse me. I kept my voice level, even though my hands were shaking under the table. I need to leave. Where? Got another dead-end freelance gig? He leaned against my table, casual, like we were old friends catching up over coffee. I heard you're doing translation work now. Korean, right? That must pay so well. His gesture encompassed my entire existence, the worn laptop covered in reference stickers, the cheap maternity dress, the corner booth in a cafe I couldn't actually afford, the simple gold earrings that had been my grandmother's because I'd sold everything else of value. Judging by all of this. The envelope arrived 3 weeks after the cafe incident. Cream paper, expensive weight, my name printed in serif font that screamed lawyer. I tore it open standing in my apartment doorway, grocery bags still hanging from my arms. The first page was standard legal jargon. The second page made my vision tunnel. Petitioner alleges pregnancy occurred during marriage. Demands immediate paternity testing. Seeks full custody rights pending DNA results. Petitioner questions fitness of respondents' lifestyle choices and requests investigation into the identity of the biological father, particularly given respondents' pattern of. The words blurred. But certain phrases burned through, unfit environment. Exposing the real father. Questionable associations. The kind of coded language that made my skin crawl, that reduced my baby to evidence in Kingford's revenge fantasy. My hands shook so badly the papers scattered across the floor. He couldn't do this. The timeline alone proved the baby wasn't his. But lawyers cost money I didn't have, and Kingford knew it. Knew I'd have to surrender or drown in legal fees defending truth against his lies. I made it until 1 a.m. before I pulled young Machiai's card from my wallet. The business card he'd given me with his personal number scrawled on the back. My finger hovered over the call button. Then Minho kicked against my ribs, and I pressed dial. He answered on the second ring. Sarah. I'm sorry. The words tumbled out between sobs. I know it's late, I shouldn't have called, but I didn't know who else. Where are you? Home. My apartment. I'm fine, it's just, Kingford sent a lawyer letter and he's claiming the baby is his and demanding custody, and I can't afford to fight this, Anne. Stop. His voice cut through my spiral, firm but not unkind. I'm sending someone. Mr. Park, my attorney. He'll be there in 20 minutes. I can't pay for. You're not paying. And Sarah? A pause. Don't open that letter again. You're done handling this alone. Mr. Park arrived in 17 minutes. By morning, I had a job offer, a tour scheduled at young Machiai's Koreatown office tower, and a team of lawyers who made Kingford's legal threat look like a parking ticket. By week's end, his lawsuit was obliterated with medical records, and I was signing an employment contract that paid triple my freelance income. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt the weight of what I'd just accepted, and from whom. Because the office I'd toured wasn't just sleek and modern. It was fortified. Security checkpoints. Cameras everywhere. Armed guards who moved like military. And young Machiai's inner circle, Dae-young, Min-seo, Soo-jin, they didn't look like accountants and operations managers. They looked like soldiers. 2 months in, my bank account stopped screaming at me. I could buy groceries without calculating every item. Pay rent on time. Sleep without panic attacks about eviction notices. Young Machiai started bringing lunch to my office. Not takeout bags thrown on my desk, actual Korean food in traditional containers, still warm. Bibimbap with perfectly arranged vegetables. Kimchi jjigae that made my eyes water and my sinuses clear. This is my guk, he said one afternoon, setting down a bowl of seaweed soup. My grandmother made it for my mother after I was born. It's tradition. Helps with recovery. He gestured vaguely at my stomach, and something in his careful avoidance of the actual word pregnancy made my chest tight. He told me stories while I ate. Growing up in Koreatown after emigrating from Busan at 8 years old. Learning English by watching American cartoons. His grandmother teaching him to read Korean using newspaper articles about the 1992 riots. I noticed other things too. How he'd check if I looked tired, adjust the office temperature without asking, ensure my chair had proper lumbar support. Small things. Constant things. Boss never acts like this. Soo-jin appeared in my doorway one evening, arms crossed. What's your game? There's no game. I work here. I translate contracts. He brings you grandmother's soup, Sarah. In 15 years, I've never seen him bring anyone lunch. So either you're playing him, or, as she paused, studying me. He's in deeper than he realizes. I didn't know what to say to that. The next day, young Machiai was reviewing shipping manifests while I translated beside him. The baby kicked, sharp, insistent. I gasped, hand flying to my ribs. Are you okay? He was on his feet instantly. Fine. He's active today. Young Machiai stared at my hand pressed against my stomach. May I? He asked in Korean, then switched to English. Can I feel? I nodded, unable to speak. His palm was warm through my shirt. The baby kicked again, directly against his hand. Young Machiai said something in Korean I didn't understand, but his voice broke on the words. What does that mean? It means little warrior. His dark eyes met mine. Sarah, I need to tell you something. His phone erupted. 3 rapid buzzes. His face went stone cold. Get your things. Now. We need to move you somewhere safe. What? Why? Because someone just put a price on your head. The first contraction hit while I was translating shipping manifests from Korean to English. Time sensitive, young Machiai had said. Critical for the Japanese partners arriving tomorrow. The second contraction doubled me over my desk. Sarah. Dae-young appeared in my doorway. You okay? I think another contraction. Stronger. Something's wrong. It's too early. Young Machiai was in a conference room 3 floors up, negotiating a deal worth millions. Dae-young called anyway. He burst through my door in 90 seconds flat, suit jacket gone, phone still in hand. How far apart? 5 minutes. Maybe less. We're going. Now. He scooped up my purse, guided me toward the elevator. Into the phone, tell them we're done. Meeting's over. The drive to Cedars-Sinai was a blur of pain and young Machiai's hand gripping mine, speaking rapid Korean I couldn't understand but somehow found comforting. 6 hours. 6 hours of him beside me, refusing to leave when nurses suggested he wait outside. Speaking prayers in Korean when the pain got unbearable. Wiping my face with cool cloths. When they asked if he was the father, he didn't correct them. Min-ho entered the world at 2:47 a.m., screaming like he was personally offended by existence. He's perfect, young Machiai whispered, tears streaming down his face as nurses placed my son on my chest. Sarah, he's perfect. Later, when Min-ho was cleaned and sleeping, young Machiai said something in Korean that sounded like poetry. Then in English, I want to be his father. Not legally, not yet if you're not ready. But in every way that matters. I want to protect both of you. I was exhausted. Overwhelmed. But I knew my answer. Yes. His crew arrived at dawn with traditional Korean gifts, gold rings, silk blankets, herbs wrapped in cloth. That's when I saw them. All of them. The tattoos covering Dae-young's arms. The identical symbols inked on Soo-jin's wrist. The way they bowed to young Machiai like he wasn't just their boss. Like he was something else entirely. 3 months of domestic bliss in young Machiai's Bel Air estate. Mornings watching him sing Korean lullabies to Min-ho. Evenings translating contracts while he cooked dinner. His security team that looked more like a private military. I stopped questioning it. Stopped noticing the guns under their jackets. Until Koreatown Plaza. I was buying groceries, Min-ho strapped to my chest, when 3 Chinese men materialized around me. One grabbed my arm. Hard. Come with us. Quietly. Mandarin, but I understood the threat. Tell Machiai we have his woman. He knows the price. Min-ho started crying. Then Dae-young was there, moving faster than I'd ever seen anyone move. The violence was surgical, brutal, over in seconds. But I saw it. All of it. The way bones broke. The way men crumpled. They rushed us to a Beverly Hills safe house. Young Machiai arrived 20 minutes later, face drained of color. Sarah, I need to tell you the truth. Biko Pa White Tiger Organization. One of LA's most powerful Korean crime syndicates. Protection rackets. Smuggling operations. Strategic real estate. The Chinese 14K triad wanted his territory, and I was leverage. I can set you up anywhere in the world, he said, voice raw. Enough money to never worry again. Or you stay, and I negotiate protection with every organization in California. But staying means danger will always exist. I demanded 48 hours. Met his grandmother. Formidable woman who tested me with impossible questions in Korean I barely understood. But I understood her final one. Will you run when it gets hard? No, I said. Min-ho needs his father. I need him. We face this together. Young Machiai's relief was palpable. Then I'll make you untouchable. That night, his phone rang. He answered, listened, went absolutely still. They took Soo-jin, he said quietly. The triad has her. And they want to trade. His eyes met mine. They want you. Young Machiai didn't trade me for Soo-jin. He convened a meeting instead. 5 major Asian crime families. Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Filipino. Leaders who'd been enemies for decades, sitting in the same room because young Machiai demanded it. We end this, he said. Families and children are off limits. Forever. They agreed. Soo-jin came home. And I became something I'd never expected, protected by every crime syndicate in Los Angeles. But protection came with a price, acceptance. Grandmother tested me relentlessly. Traditional tea ceremony where one wrong movement meant failure. Korean greeting protocols with 50 different bows. I studied until my eyes burned, practiced until my hands shook. Then came the family gathering. Tense. Dangerous men watching me like I was an outsider who didn't belong. One of them made a comment in Korean about Min-ho, something crude about mixed blood. I had him on the floor before Dae-young could move. My hand around his throat. Say it again, I said in broken Korean. About my son. Silence. Then grandmother laughed. She performed a ceremony that night. Traditional. Sacred. Gave me the name Seo-yun, felicitous and beautiful. Slipped a jade bracelet onto my wrist that her grandmother had worn. You are Biko Pa now, she said. No one touches you. No one touches your son. The crew embraced me after that. Dae-young taught me to shoot. Soo-jin taught me to read people. Minaseo's wife brought Korean baby clothes and called me sister. The peace agreement was signed. Formal. Binding. I was learning the legitimate businesses, expanding translation services, building something real. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Sarah Mitchell? A woman's voice. Familiar somehow. This is Claire Hayes. Kingford's mother. We need to talk about my son's rights to his child. And if you don't meet me, I'm going to the police about young Machiai's business. Claire Hayes never made it to the police. Young Machiai's lawyers buried her in cease and desist orders before she finished her coffee. Kingford's mother learned quickly, threatening Biko Pa's family was a losing game. 2 weeks later, young Machiai proposed. Traditional Korean ceremony at grandmother's estate. Formal blessings. He presented a modern diamond ring alongside jade engagement jewelry that had belonged to his mother. "You need to understand what you're accepting," he said, voice steady but eyes intense. "You'll always have security. Minho will always be watched. Some people will fear you. Others will try to use you. Normal life isn't possible." "I don't want normal," I said. "I want real." Then I threw up in grandmother's koi pond. I was pregnant. Again. The organization erupted in celebration. But young Machiai sat me down that night and showed me everything. Legitimate operations, import-export, real estate holdings, tech investments. Then the other side. Protection rackets. Smuggling routes. Money laundering mechanisms. "No more secrets," he said. "You're in this now." Completely. I insisted on preparation. Dae-young taught me firearms training until I could disassemble a Glock blindfolded. Defensive driving on abandoned airstrips. Secure communication protocols. Emergency extraction procedures. Young Machiai taught me organizational hierarchy. Who to trust. Who to watch. How to read a room full of dangerous men. I took over the legitimate translation division. Expanded it. Built something that mattered beyond the criminal operations. 6 months pregnant, I was reviewing contracts when young Machiai's phone erupted. His face went white. "What?" "It's Kingford." His voice was deadly quiet. "He just posted bail. Assault charges against his girlfriend. Beat her so badly she's in ICU." He looked at me. "And he told police he's coming for what's his." "He knows where we live," I whispered. "Wedding's tomorrow," young Machiai said. "He knows that too." The hanbok was burgundy and gold silk, traditional but tailored to accommodate my 7-month pregnancy. Grandmother wept as she adjusted the fabric. Dae-young held Minho during the ceremony, my 9-month-old son gurgling through the vows. All 5 family leaders attended. Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Filipino. A room full of dangerous men bearing witness to peace. I was young Machiai's wife. Protected. Untouchable. Then his phone rang. "I have to go." His jaw was tight. "Triad emergency. Port access dispute. If I don't show, the peace collapses. It's our wedding night." "I know. I'm sorry." He kissed my forehead. Dae-young stays. Full security detail. "I'll be back in 2 hours." 90 minutes later, glass shattered downstairs. Shift change. 30 seconds when exterior coverage thinned. Kingford had been watching. Waiting. I heard him screaming my name. Drunk. Enraged. I activated the panic room protocol. Grabbed Minho. Sealed us behind reinforced nursery doors. Pulled out my phone, accessed security cameras, started recording. Kingford appeared on screen, crowbar in hand, battering the door. "You ruined my life, Sarah. Stole everything. That mixed-breed bastard should be mine." I documented every word, every racial slur, every threat. My voice steady into the recorder, Kingford Hayes breaking into nursery, armed with crowbar, threatening infant child with racist language. The door shuddered. Minho screamed. Then Dae-young's team breached. Violent. Efficient. Kingford hit the floor in seconds. Wait. I emerged from the panic room. Before police arrive, I want him to hear something. I played the recording. Looked Kingford in the eye. You tried to make me feel worthless because you're worthless. My son will never know your name. Police arrested him. Maximum sentencing guaranteed. Young Machiai found me 2 hours later, composed but shaking. I protected our son, I said. I'm not the woman you met in that cafe. No, he agreed. You're stronger. Jiwoo arrived screaming into the world 9 months later. Wisdom and tenderness, young Machiai whispered, tears streaming as he held our daughter. Life found rhythm. 2 children under 2. Organized chaos. Young Machiai transitioning more operations legitimate, real estate, import, export, tech investments. I managed the translation division, building an empire within the empire. Korean came fluently now. I taught Minho both languages, watched him code switch like he'd been doing it his whole life. Mornings became sacred. Young Machiai singing lullabies while making breakfast. Minho toddling after him saying, Appa, Appa. Jiwoo nursing while I reviewed contracts. Normal. Safe. Then the news alert. Kingford Hayes released from prison. Good behavior. Overcrowding. I expected panic. Fear. The old terror rising like bile. Instead, nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. He's out, I told young Machiai that evening. His face hardened. All double security. No. Sarah. He doesn't matter anymore. And I meant it. He's a man who tried to destroy me. He failed. I refused to give him space in our life. Young Machiai studied me. Then nodded. You've changed. I've survived. That night, I was nursing Jiwoo when my phone lit up. Message from unknown number. A photo. Kingford. Outside a coffee shop in Santa Monica. Today's date stamp. But that wasn't what made my blood run cold. In the background, barely visible, was Sujin. Standing 30 feet behind him. Watching. My phone rang immediately. Sujin's voice, shaking, Sarah, don't react. Don't tell young Machiai yet. But I need you to listen very carefully. Kingford isn't working alone. He's meeting with someone. Someone from inside the organization. Who? I don't know yet. But Sarah? Her voice dropped to a whisper. They're not planning to hurt you. They're planning to take the children. Sujin's intel was solid. We identified the traitor, Minasio's cousin, desperate and greedy. Young Machiai handled it quietly. Permanently. 2 weeks later, I was walking Jiwoo through Santa Monica, wearing a Korean-inspired silk dress, hair professionally styled, 4-carat diamond catching sunlight. I looked like what I was, untouchable. Then I saw him. Kingford. Outside the coffee shop. Aged poorly, thinner, harder, bitter. He opened his mouth. Sarah, I looked through him. Kept walking. Didn't break stride. He took a step forward. For security personnel materialized from different directions like smoke. He backed away, and I felt nothing. Not victory. Not anger. Nothing. At the playground, young Machiai pushed Minho on swings. Appa. Yama, my son squealed in both languages. You saw him? Young Machiai read my face. I saw a stranger who used to hurt me. He has no power now. That evening, our private terrace overlooking Los Angeles. Both children sleeping in traditional Korean wraps. City lights glittering below like fallen stars. A year ago, I said, I was alone in a cafe, accepting shame like I deserved it. Tonight, I'm surrounded by family who would die for me. Kingford is free somewhere in that city. But he no longer has power over my story. Young Machiai whispered. You are the light of my life. I responded. Our family is my strength. He pulled us close, me, Minho, Jiwoo. A family built from broken pieces into something unbreakable. Thank you for watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more thrilling and entertaining stories.